A Blue Heavens Tuesday teaching, The Truth About Serpents and Snakes, episode 41. Type with a snake in my hand. E-N-D-S. It's spelled wrong. It might be spelled right. I don't know. You type and hold a snake.
No. Hi, Lucas.
And he just shed last night. So he's like brand new for all of us. He's like, what the crap? Look at his pits. How beautiful are those pits?
They're so beautiful. This is Lucas. That was Marky. This is Lucas, my namesake.
Yeah, it's your namesake, man.
Oh, it's beautiful.
I just woke him up, so he's just going to be out and about for a little bit. So Locaeus is an orange dream banana pied ball python, and he's about 3 years old. And they live for about 20 years in captivity, or they can live like 10 years in the wild. They are a species that's native to West and Central Africa, and they are the smallest of the pythons, growing only about to 4 feet. So Locaeus is about as big as Locaeus is going to get. So I'm going to turn him into a sneckless, and we will talk about things and about snakes and serpents, so hopefully you won't be afraid of them anymore. He's not slimy. Like I always thought snakes would be slimy. He's not. He's exothermic, so they don't regulate their own temperature, right? They're cold-blooded, so they become the ambient temperature, so they're room temperature. That's why you have to have like heat lamps and heat pads for them to help them stay warm, because they don't regulate it on their own, which is really kind of neat. They don't have ears, so they don't have external ears, but he has inner ear parts to pick up vibrations.
Oh,
Is that true, man?
Look at that.
They don't really do much. He doesn't, especially a ball python. They're called a ball because they ball up in a ball. It's like what they do. They don't do much. Hang on. All right, so he's not going to do much. Sorry, buddy, you were falling. But he wants to be like comfortable. But he's just a muscle. He's just a big ass muscle. He's not scary.
No, and this is Loki. Look at Locaeus over there. He is. Everybody, when they see a snake or a serpent, they get all immediately. They're scared. Like, oh, look at that. And that's an illusion and perception of what everybody, and in the Bible, this creature supposedly went and told Adam and Eve, hey, whatever, which is not true, because the serpent was created by the divine. Think about that. And look at it. Their snakes are wise and they're smart.
Yeah.
They're very wise. And Angela probably just, every misconception of the sliminess and whatever. Look how docile. The energy is wonderful and beautiful. How could you be scared of that,
Yeah.
Really.
I think with most things, we listen to people that have opinions without experience. There's a lot of that. So I think when you're dealing with things that you have fear of, I think it's best to talk to people that have experience, not just an opinion. Because everyone will tell you that a snake's going to choke and kill your babies and stuff, and that really isn't very true. It can happen. Big pythons, anacondas, that type of stuff, but they also aren't like that. If they're well fed and taken care of and stuff, that's not their purpose. Come on, my dude. No. But and he's a muscle, so I gotta like move him around because he's a big ass muscle, and he's a big muscle. But right. They live in the ground, but they can climb up into trees. We had a green tree python named Dolomite, and he would stretch his whole body down from his limb to drink water, and then he would slowly coil himself back up, but in a wrap. And it was just so fascinating. They're not aggressive. They really just hide. They hide under things. Like in the wild, they're going to be hidden under rocks or hidden under garbage or panels or old barns. They just kind of want to feel safe. They come out to eat. They're going to eat rodents. They're going to eat birds. They help control, rodent population and stuff. Plus, they are prey for other things. They have a role to play in this world. And I think we need to be more accepting of them. And there's Brian Barczyk, who's on YouTube. He is very intelligent about snakes. If you'd like to learn more, Dave Kaufman, Snake Discovery, Emily and Ed, people that really know what they're talking about. And I think it should be like that with any of our fears, any things we don't understand. I feel like we need to stop going to people with opinions and go to people with knowledge. Because when you have knowledge, now you're equipped with truth and intelligence. You can make more informed decisions. You like that shit? But he hasn't striked anything, right? Have you noticed that? They really don't unless it's food time and they know they're getting fed and they're just striking their food. So
yeah, and still Loki here, and that's why I'm all right being one of the 3 lives of the serpent and that. So I've done this one other time, and I feel this is probably, we could do this again. This is October, so I am right now in demon mode, feels appropriate. And not because of Lucaeus over there. That's just to show this is not to be scary. Again, this is not a scary part of myself. It's again a perception that you just heard, and so I'm here, you feel that, whatever. So I want to bring out, remember before, Angela, when I had the serpent and she spoke and that.
Yes.
So I can interpret, okay, the serpent is a great wise teacher of the shaman community. Many of the Indian societies loved the snake because the snake is wise, offer advice, and they're low to the ground. They're low to the ground, and they go up, and they're very particular. They got a great sense of intuition. They're very, and even in your Bible, it even says, be wise as a serpent.
Yes.
Be wise as a serpent.
Yeah.
Because serpents are wise.
I think with that too, like I said, how they don't attack something unless it's their food. That is wisdom. They're not spending time with nonsense. They just act when they need to act. And not all snakes are venomous, but some can be non-venomous, but look patterned like they're venomous for protection. So what a beautiful little evolutionary trait to keep them safe. And we have a hognose snake upstairs, and she has thicker scales because they dig, and Lucaeus has like super tiny scales, so he's like real smooth. But a hognose snake can play dead. So they roll over on their back, they stick their tongue out, and if you grab them and roll them, they continue to roll upside down and stick their tongue out to pretend that they're dead. Or they will hiss like a cobra and scare you off that way. And again, how cool is that? I see Destiny with hi guys. Hi Destiny. Did you meet Lucaeus? It's Lucaeus. I don't know where his head went. Do you see it? So he's not getting into anything.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's in your hood.
I need to make sure he's not getting into anything. It's why I didn't want to be upstairs. There's a lot that he could get into, and I was going to sit over there, but there's a snapping turtle behind me. I don't need him to. Over here, he's just got a rabbit or some turtles. Destiny's like, "Hi, Lucas, that's you, buddy. You don't have ears, but I'll tell him through taps."
Through taps. and this is Archangel Lucifer, and as well, now you see how beautiful he is, and as well, it feels like Loki said maybe we need to come to ones that are misunderstood, which I'm very misunderstood. Yes. He's very misunderstood.
Yes.
And I've been compared to a serpent, although I am of the dragon, not of the serpent. But that's just how that is. But serpents are, as long as I can remember on my walk, Angela, they're wise, they're smart. I had many, many pet snakes, and they were so gentle, and they were often they would bring fear only now if we were somebody's going to come at us. They would bring fear only because they loved us so much. They never came and struck anybody. Okay. They just would, whatever, to show show some dominance or whatever, but they were gentle. I never had a snake that was nothing. I even had poisonous for the day. And they just loved us. I understood, and I showed no fear to it, and I fed it, and I loved it. We all did. So snakes have been a great place in my heart. When we go to your place, Angela, it's like home for me. It is home. So it's not surprising that Lilith would have a husband that would have many snakes, because that is, and they're very well taken care of, because you and Scott and the girls were always, you see Scott doing some, and you also see the Grays. The Grays always have the clipboard, and they're always making sure that everything is good with them. So I love to see, because right now they're watching you with the Locaeus, and they have their little clipboard, and they're watching and observing, and they love the energy that Locaeus is already getting from viewers and the viewers to come, and that. So they love that, because see, the Grays want everybody to understand that they're just misunderstood, and they're wonderful. They're wonderful, wonderful creatures. They really are. And I love all the facts that you're given too.
Yeah. Well, thank you. And their poop, I'll give you like a poop fact. They don't poop much. They poop like after they eat their meal, like maybe a week or so after they eat their meal. Sometimes they'll have like a fart noise, and sometimes you'll hear it. Sometimes it shoots against the glass. It's crazy. It smells terrible for like a day. But then if you don't get it, it just like dries up and it doesn't smell. And it's like, what the crap is that? So it's like a weird little fact for you too. They don't eat when they're in shed. So Scott fed everybody this week, and Locaeus denied food, and it's because he was in shed. And we couldn't really tell because his scales are super small and real close together. So he's not as an obvious shedder as like Skin Man or scaleless rat snake. When he's about to shed. He's cool too, but he's like an advanced level snake, and I don't have the attention span for him. So we get Locaeus because again, he just lays there. He doesn't really do much of anything. Which is
kind of like our Locaeus.
Yeah. No. All right. I just got to make sure he's not getting anywhere. What are you doing, buddy? All right. But I wanted to keep him on as much as possible so people see he doesn't do anything. Really, I hope that comes across. I hope that if you had fear that maybe it goes away. Oh, okay. Yes. So I had this Mr. Squirmy snake. I don't know. Michelle, do you remember our Mr. Squirmy?
Yeah, I got to get her. Mr. Squirmy? Yeah. That was the first one. It's the first snake I ever held was Mr. Squirmy.
Yes. So we got Mr. Squirmy. He was our first. I think he was a Honduran milk snake. And I posted a picture of him on Facebook. Mr. Squirmy in Squidward's house. So like this was Mr. Squirmy. So I wanted to go over some of these comments that people said. One, because these are my pets. Right? So maybe come at me a little less harshly when you're coming after someone's pet. So my friend Chris said, gross. What? Gross? No way. And he put snakes are gross and can't be trusted. So I hope you don't think snakes are gross. And I hope you can trust a snake, but you have to be intelligent with anything that you're working with. And I put he's sweet and little and pretty, but I know he'd steal my money in a heartbeat. So, I was being silly. And he said, see, they are flimflamers. So I didn't know that they were flimflamers, and I still think this is opinion and not any experiential data here. But then here's somebody, snakes are great pets. I had 4 at one time, a couple rat snakes, a ball python, and an albino Burmese python. And I was like, well, heck yeah, someone knows something about snakes. And then my friend Chris went back to shit. I put that Chris was too tough to not like a little snake, that he was an ass kicker, and that he could take him to a bar brawl for sure, but to hide your wallet because he steals. But take him to a bar, then I get beat up because he can't keep his hands out of people's pockets. You really need to get him out.
Yes.
But I'll try. He's young. He doesn't know any better yet. I hope he'll learn. And then I had another friend that knew something, that he was a beautiful snake and that they had a corn snake and they are cool to watch, but she had not held theirs yet. Yeah. So, and then it ended with, I think he steals wallets to pay for his drug and mouse eating habit. You might want to schedule an intervention. You don't want him selling himself on the street. You know how slimy snakes are. They can't be trusted. So I hope you learned some of those things aren't true. That's just silly nonsense. Snakes really aren't gross. It might be gross if they pooped on you, but like they don't poop on you. Like they poop in the privacy of their own little homes, when they're ready for it. They're not going to shed on you because that's a process. And he's new every time he sheds, and every time they shed, they grow. Get out of town. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. This is Michelle. And so me and Angie always grew up with, our mom, snakes had scared the shit out of mom. Yeah. So I go to, and this is when I just met Scott, right? First meet Scott, and I'm trying to, get to know Scott. And so you handed me Squirmy. I'm getting handed Squirmy. Yeah. Oh my God. I had all of the things that in my head was all of the things you just said. Yeah. Like, is it going to no? Was it slimy? Right. No,
my wallet.
Absolutely. So he put Squirmy in my hands, and I wanted to pee, literally pee, and right. I'm trying to stay cool. I fell in love with Squirmy to the point I go to like PetSmart, different places, and I'm still looking for one. I see Squirmies, and I want a Squirmy. I love it. And Dave, he has had many. A friend here, real boyfriend, single. We don't know yet, but he's had many snakes too, and that. So I now Dylan, he wants a corn snake, or what Squirmy was, because we see Squirmy, we're just like, oh my God. Yes. So they're not, and they're just, and when I go over there to your place, I love watching Locaus, and I watch all of them, and they're just, they got wonderful energy, and that, and Scott, I forget which one I held, but it wasn't Locaus, it was a different one that I held. It was a black one. I can't remember which one that was.
The dark chocolate. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Oh my God, I loved it. The energy.
The first one I held was dark chocolate. He's like 20 years old now, that snake.
Yeah. But the energy was amazing and warm. I felt warm, and it was like a hug. I felt love, and it felt like a hug. That was one of my impressions. And to this day, I love, when I get now, Scott will say, do I like to hold him? Yes, because it's different. Because
his temperature right now, it's kind of cold. Like, you feeling me, feels cold, but he's just a big weight. It's just a weight. You just kind of feel a weight that moves around a little bit. It's really it's therapeutic.
It is. I felt loved. I felt like a hug. I felt, because they were already loving, but I felt the love like a hug. I felt like a hug was around my neck.
Because they're using you as security.
Yes.
So they're like finding their safe space on you. Yeah, absolutely. I absolutely agree with that. You feel that. You feel they are connecting with you. Mm-hmm. Not many animals do that because they don't need to. He doesn't have legs, right? So he's got to rely on you a little bit. And that's a snake fact. If you didn't know, snakes don't have legs. None of them. They don't have legs. If they have legs, it's a lizard. And you mentioned Dave. Dave had garter snakes, and garter snakes give live birth instead of having eggs. And some snakes can have virgin births.
Oh, I didn't know that. Wow.
Yes. So there's Jesus snakes out there, which other people be less afraid of them, because some of them, God just made them without a guy. Why would he do that if he didn't love snakes, right?
Absolutely. Yes. And this is Archangel Lucifer. Absolutely. Because as he created unique human, you're planetary, and, in your unique, in your human realm, of course, the snakes are as well going to be very unique, as well as evolution, because they had changed. They never had legs, never no arms. They never stole. But the size has changed. The size had changed from the evolution of them. They used to be much bigger than that. Believe it or not, they used to be much bigger. It would take, I guess it's not so big now, but to us it was, but it would take all the four of us to hold one of ours and wrap around. It was huge, but we loved it because it would keep it like a sense of security to us. And we felt this love coming from our different snakes and that. So we always called them warriors and things. That's what we always called them. Warrior. Yeah. Come on, warrior. But they have evolution, their teeth and different. So maybe some snake facts for everybody. They have changed a whole lot, and they used to be much, much, much bigger. And then they're much smaller now. but they're still docile like they were, and that. So I love your any more facts that you know, Angela, about snakes and that we could share with our viewers.
I do. Let's see what else we have. Some cold climate snakes hibernate in the winter. I didn't know that. I think that is weird. That like historically they are known to represent fertility or creative life force. As they shed their skin, they're symbols of rebirth, transformation, immortality, and healing. Which is why if you look at the medical logo, it's a snake. It's because there's wisdom and healing. There's symbolic properties to snakes. The word serpent comes from a Latin word serpens, which means a creeping thing, something that crawls. So snake and serpent both mean the same thing, but have different root words. They come from to creep or to crawl. So there's nothing evil about that. If you think about it, we as humans, we are here to walk on the earth, right? So Spirit always says their walk. That's what they're doing without legs, man. They're creeping. So they don't have to walk, they're creeping or they're crawling. There's no shame in that game.
There is absolutely none whatsoever. They're very wise. Well, that's why a lot of I'll bring Marquis out because he's our shaman master, our shaman priest. Yes. Oh well, snakes, serpents, they hold great with us because they're wise. If you're going to call on any creature for protection, for wisdom, you grab the serpent, the snake, and it's always a she, it's a feminine, it's a she, always. And she gives you great wisdom and that. And when you hear the serpent bite, like the shaman priest will say, the serpent bites, it does not mean anything evil. You know what that means? You wouldn't say you've been bit by the serpent. You've been bit by wisdom. That's simply what that means. It's not poison. It just simply means the wisdom, the intuition, because they're intuitive, and when they crawl, they have to be intuitive, and they can go up a tree. They are, in general, they're just very, very smart. They're just so, as far as a shaman priest here, that's my creature is my serpent. I always call on her for everything because she's my wise teacher. She's a teacher. She's intuitive. She comes up with the herbs. She's the herbal everything. So you ask any shaman priest, I guarantee they had a serpent. They got a serpent queen somewhere because she's wise, and you want that on your side. You want your serpent.
And a connection to earth.
Absolutely.
Snake has a very strong connection to Mother Earth, and that is something we could learn a lot about because we don't. Right? They are always being grounded. They are always connecting to Mother Earth. They trust it. Like in the Bible, it says, like the birds of the sky don't worry about food and stuff. So why do we? It's the same with snakes. They just they just live their life. They're going with the flow. I feel like the whole story of Genesis is God created perfection. We chose to experience imperfection. And that choice has been represented by a tree, which is many paths. And the serpent was just the wisdom that allowed people to choose imperfection to see what it's like. So I feel like when we remember our divinity, we are going back to that state of just trusting. We're not creating illusion anymore. We're not asking for illusion to be creating anymore. We are trusting the divine to give us what is best for us. Yes, I think that is something that we've come I don't know where's that. He's like weird, man. I don't know. Yeah. Yes, there's him sad.
No, there you are. Well, that's absolutely true. Well, you have to think and see in the Bible it talks about the serpent coming from the tree and talking to Eve and whatever else. What you need to remember, the serpent was created by the great divine. The serpent did nothing. And they even say they don't even know if it was a serpent. It's just assumed it was a serpent.
Yeah.
But you got to realize if it was a serpent, which no, it was not, it's a representation, a metaphor. But the serpent is very smart and intelligent and wise, but would have never done that. But, so again, a representation and that, but they're very grounded. You're correct. They're one of the most grounded creatures. and they are Mother Earth's friend. That's why, again, that's why a shaman priest, they're very good on the herbs and the spells. You definitely want a serpent on your side and protection, because and that's the thing, what we do about the serpent. You might think, well, because of the bite. No, it's not about the bite. It's just a smart. They never attack. They do not. They don't. We don't. That's, if we want that, we get to dragon. If that's what we believe, just get to dragon. The serpent comes across peaceful because they want peace in all circumstances. They don't want to just come out. And that's a great example for humans. Shouldn't we just, instead of biting and showing that, we should follow an example of the wisdom? Absolutely. We should. They're very peaceful creatures. Yes. They don't come at you unless they're feeling attacked and they feel they have to. And you see that in the animal kingdom. That's all the reason they do that.
It's true. We've got a lot of pets, and I walk by a lot of pets at random days throughout the day at random times. I've never startled a snake. Like, they've never lunged at me. They've never looked at me weird because I walk by them. They don't care. They don't care. They just go about their business. And there's 3,700 different species of snakes. Mm-hmm. And more morphs now than you used to be able to get, like ball pythons, all of these things. Luckily, the industry is growing because people are starting to love and appreciate snakes. They're seeing them for the pets that they can be. Not that you need to go get your baby a snake, right? We still need to have some intelligence about things. But we really need to let go of fears, because it gets in the way of our life. I think we really need to just go back to trusting, which isn't easy, but I think that's what we need to do. Sir Marquis. Now, Angela, I thought this would be interesting. Yes. May I speak on behalf of the Greys that are behind you? Yeah. They had some things they wanted everybody to understand about. So I wanted to go ahead and, but you're holding Locaeus, and while you're holding Locaeus, there's the the representative of that. So I want to make sure. So I want to make sure I get the name correct, because I don't want to misinterpret. I don't want my name in check against my name like the rest of Locaeus is always getting his name. Not that beautiful Locaeus, our Locaeus. So it is Galurus. Galurus is the mate. So it's a female male, because that's what they say. They do the virgin there. That's what they do. That's how their Greys do. So the Greys say their observation and snakes, their fascination with the snakes. So they say people misinterpret. They say the reason that they do so much information here for the snakes, and in particular, because humans don't understand them, and they could go extinct if a human does not understand. If you don't have the intelligence, meaning you're ignorant and you have not read up on that, do not do that. That's dangerous. And then you release them into the wild on something that they're not familiar with. So they're given some of the dangers that could happen in the future. They're not saying it will happen. They're just saying some facts that humans need to keep in mind. And they said that they are to do your research before you would get to a snake. Make sure you know what you want. And if you have any fear, do not, because again, that's it. They said, if you're going to get one, love them. Yes. Love them, because they are just like having a cat, a dog, and they are, make sure, that's what they said, they're really suggesting get one like Squirmy. If you're going to start, get one like Squirmy. That way, if it's just too much, you can at least find somebody that will take the Squirmy. If it just becomes too much, don't let your child just have, unless they have that knowledge and you're going to watch your child. And that, so the representation, they're trying to, I'm going to say he, because that's how he wants me to represent. But they want to make sure that you play with them, you love them, you feed them, you make sure all of the diet, what the diet is, when they're going to shed, and just get all your facts straight. And they said they're very wise. So what is the Greys? They said because Greys are misinterpreted too. They said people think they're slimy. And you see, right in the background on that too. So that's one of the things they said is a lot of misinformation to get your facts straight about them, because if you want to keep these beautiful creatures out, make sure we get our facts straight and don't be and like you're saying, Angela, too, is make sure you get the right facts
from somebody that knows their information. And maybe they want you to list again, Angela, the people like the YouTube and different ones, if you are interested, which ones you should be guided to that. If you are interested in a snake, they said if you could address that again, the places they could watch that, so they will understand that.
So Brian Barczyk is like my first go-to guy. I think it's Barcyzk. My next one would be Dave Kaufman. I think that's DAVKAUFFMAN. I think he's got Reptile Adventures is the name of his YouTube channel. He's awesome. Nerd, the New England reptile something, they're really good. The guy Kevin at Nerd is really knowledgeable, and they're a breeder too. A lot of these places are breeders. And then Snake Discovery with Emily and Ed. They're breeders also, and they own something like the Reptarium. I don't remember what their store is. I actually think it's called Snake Discovery. It's like a zoo of their pets. But if you are interested in the snake, you definitely should learn about them and pick the one that would be right for you. And if you do have a fear of them, I don't recommend you get them. Maybe go to someplace, go to reptile shows, see if you can touch one or interact with one. I think if you're afraid of it, you're not going to give it the attention and stuff that it needs because it's a pet. I think you need to look at it as a pet, or don't have one. If you can't view it as a pet, then it's not for you. But if you think it could be a pet for you, they make awesome pets. They're decent to interact with. You just kind of have to keep an eye on their head, because if they get their head into something, they're going to get their whole damn body into it, and you could lose your snake. So you might not want to lose your buddy. They do make good friends, and I will add a rat. My rat friend has been one of my favorite pets of all time. I'm shocked by how much I enjoy hanging out with my rat. I can rub its belly. It ninja kicks me. It loves you. I remember being in middle school and I wanted a rat, and Mom was afraid of rats and mice and rodents and stuff. She let me have a hamster gerbil. But I wanted a rat, and now I see why. Like, that would have been a companionship that I think I really could have used. So maybe if you have a depressed teen, if they're willing to take care of a pet, a rat might be a good social animal for your child, like a little therapy pet that they can take care of, because they are super loving. If you give them attention, they will just love you to death. Isn't that true? And snakes, like, he's so cool, especially Locaus, a ball python. He does the least out of all the snakes we have. But you need to be aware because he is strong. So I had him wrapped around my neck a little bit there, but if you saw, I wouldn't let him wrap around me, right? You just have to be smart about things because he doesn't know. He's just trying to stay safe. You have to be the one that is aware to be responsible with these types of things.
And this is Archangel Lucifer. And one thing that I'm picking up from the Greys that they want this mentioned, and I think this is very wonderful. The snake sees past the illusion. Think of that. They see past the illusion. They don't need illusion.
Yeah. So
they're very spiritual. So if you are a very spiritual being and you're trying to get past your illusions and your shadows, Angie, have you noticed since you were holding Locaus, I bet you're getting a lot of release in the shadows because they see past that. And Locaus trusts you. But, we have our Locaus, but again, Locaus, any snake, you love them, they can see past the illusion and shadows, and they're spiritual.
I definitely feel like there's an energy exchange taking place.
There is. Yeah. There is. So I wanted to mention that as the Greys are mentioning that, because I forgot, because when we had our, we'd have our snake, but that's what it was. They would take away our shadows and all of this, because that's what they do. They see past the illusion. There is no illusion with them. They're down. They don't see the illusion. There's no need for it with them. There's no need.
They have hearing. They also don't need to pick up on a sense that's going to distract them too. That's kind of cool too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool so England. Come on, that's awesome. He's just dangling right there. How cool is that? And so wrapped around my arm. I love him.
So Loki, so you think about Loki. He sees past the illusion. He sees past the shadows. So why do you think they always compare him to a snake?
And he does energy work like that. He takes the energy away, and they're grounded. So, and he is grounded. Absolutely. Wow. Yeah.
Yep. That's why they always compare me.
And the no death, always rebirthing, new shed. Like you're always something new. Yeah. And wisdom, teacher of wisdom.
And I don't die. I always say that I shed my skin, but I don't die.
Don't die.
I don't die. No.
Yeah.
So they always compare me. So when I got the compliment, the 3 lies of a serpent, I'm like, and I love what the comment you put, but there is the serpent. I mean, that's just why I'm always being compared to a snake. And I love, that's fine with me. That's fine. But they're very spiritual. And you notice right now the energy exchange, you're very calm. I notice your energy, you're very calm. Right now, you're very calm, you're relaxed because you're exchanging this energy.
Yes.
I felt you describe the energy you're feeling right now.
Well, when I started, I was a little nervous because I haven't, I don't hold on to Locatus a lot. I'm kind of scatterbrained. So Scott made me do a trial the other day of getting him out of his home and taking him out and being comfortable with him. But the longer I sit here with him, it is weird. It's like, it's not like I had fear. I had worry. I don't want to let him go. I don't want to get distracted and lose him because we love him. But as he has sat here more and more, it took all that away, and I just feel very calm. I just feel very calm and relaxed. I don't feel the need to go put him up or anything. Like I felt like, well, I might not have him out the whole time because I don't want to get away. And now all of that's gone. He's fine. He's comfortable. He likes being where he's at. So I'm cool. I'm comfortable. I like being where I'm at. It's like we matched each other, like our energy matched each other. But it definitely started with him taking some of my energy, some of my fear away. As he got comfortable, it loosened me up.
Now, and this is still Loki. Now, Angie, could you compare that to what I do through you? When you channel me, could you compare that same energy, what I do, what you just described, what you just say, that's what I do for you?
Absolutely. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's this calm that just takes place. It's the match of the energy. Absolutely. It's the same damn thing. That's crazy. Mm-hmm. I see Angie Osborne's here with a hi girls. Hey, Angie, how the crap have you been? It's been a long time. Hope you're doing good. Hello. Meet Locatus. Yeah. I love this. I hope that you guys are appreciating this. I hope that you're learning some stuff, and then maybe you won't have such a fear of snakes. And if you do continue to have a fear of them, maybe just don't hurt them. I know there's so many people that want to go chop their heads off or hit them with shovels and stuff. Just leave them alone. If you see them outside in the sun, they're just getting sun. They're just trying to warm themselves up before they go hide again. They're not going to hurt you. They might come after you if you're trying to harm them, and it's just out of self-preservation, which anything would do that. That's not anything a snake's doing negative to you. So I always like my sister-in-law Charity always says that it pisses her off when people say that they're going to kill snakes because you wouldn't do that to a stray cat. And she said that cats give her really bad allergies and she can't breathe, so she could die from a cat, and she still doesn't go out and hit it with a shovel like people do with snakes that aren't going to instigate any type of physical response from you whatsoever. So I really like that opinion, and I'm going to share that with you too. If you don't like something, just leave it be. Move on. No one needs your opinion of it. It's all good. Angie said she's been super good. I have dreams with snakes in them often. Awesome.
Now, well, that's what this is. Okay, Angie. So since she said that, so this is Loki. Why don't you interpret that for her? Since we were just talking about that, I would say saying she is magical, and she's first thing I pick up, she's able to take shadows and talk to people, comfort them into their shadows. That's just what, and she's getting visited by the serpent queen, and that's who we call her, the great, and that's what she's doing. She's offering wisdom and being calm. So that's a compliment. Yes. Because it's what you're describing, what you described, that's her energy. That's absolutely. Her energy.
It absolutely is. You're right. She has the experience to have the wisdom, and she has the remembrance of her spirituality. So she's got like the full yin yang going on, which is that's a healer. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's a beautiful right there. So thank you for that, because that's why you're being, and she's a very old soul. You're a very old soul, and you're representing your planetary, which is wonderful because they love snakes in your planetary and that too. So yeah, and they're very appreciated. Platus, we love snakes. Now, our snakes there look not different than the snakes here, but again, they're very wise, and that ours kind of have legs.
Oh man, that's a lizardy here.
Yeah, they do.
Our blue-tongued skink that looks like a snake with legs. His legs are silly and chunky, and they don't make much sense. And
that's Dylan's favorite. That's Dylan's favorite. Dylan wants one. He said because the pure looks like a snake with legs. He loves.
It does. Have you ever seen a legless lizard?
No.
So it's a lizard without legs. So it looks like it has the body of a snake, but it has the face of a lizard and the head of a lizard, and they roll around all weird. They're hard to hold on to because they're just, I don't know, it's weird. So if you guys want to see something weird, go check out a legless lizard on YouTube and watch what a legless lizard looks like. There's one at the Reptarium, Brian Barczyk. I think its name is Vlad. And a lot of people are freaked out by Vlad. Some of the employees don't want to touch him or feed him because they think he's weird. It's one of Scott's animals that he's loved, and he had one, and it got away or got lost in something. I don't remember what happened to him. But Angie said, love it. I think about the dreams and the stuff. So yes, perfect. And you're so outdoorsy and grounded. You are connected to Mother Earth. Like, you get it. And that's snake.
Yeah, and I get immediately with her as well as still Loki. I get with her, she potions. I get like she does remedies and herbs. I feel that she's the person everybody goes to for these remedies.
Huh.
That's what I feel with her, because she is very grounded, but I also feel that's what I get from her though. I get like like herbal, like medicine remedies and things from her. Like she's the first, like if you're some kind of ailment, she has it for you. And not the WD-40 like your grandma had, not that. Something actually works, but that's what I feel from her. I feel that people go to her for these remedies, not WD-40.
Yep. She said, yep.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah. Our grandma was like that, but added WD-40. So fun fact, when I was a kid, I had kidney problems, and they didn't really know why, or I had a strep infection in my kidney, I think is what it was. So strep infection in my kidneys, and my grandma's cure-all for everything was WD-40. So I was peeing at her house, and she ran in and got me WD-40 on my lady parts as a kid to heal up my kidneys. And I fell outside as a kid, and I scraped my knee, and it had like ants and stuff in it, and that got WD-40 too. So,
oh man.
Good time. She said she's big into suggesting remedies. Yeah. Of course.
How would I have known?
Yeah. Right. The magical guesses of spirit.
Oh, see, that's one of my favorite things is Dylan's new thing is, how did you know? How did you know? It's like, no, Thursday, stay tuned, because Michelle and Dylan had Angie's predictions. It was hilarious, the reactions.
Yeah.
Dylan was let's just say Dylan was going, he's like, he wanted to share news. So Angie so he said, next time something's going on in his life, he can't tell me. I said, she'll know, she'll tell us.
It's so funny too, because they haven't given a lot of details as to a who with him, because it wasn't time. But the fact that the time had occurred and then details came through, I thought that was really cool. And it shows me too that spirit knows everything, but they can't tell us until the process has been initiated, because it might not occur. Maybe some other choice comes through or some other option comes through. They can't say anything until something starts, that the seed is planted, it's starting to grow, a harvest is coming. What do you got? So I think that's cool.
And then this is Michelle. Yeah, because when I was going clothes shopping with our mom and dad are wonderful, and every so often they let us get clothes. And that's like, thank you. And so I was Angie said, well, Angie said I was going to get signs. She said either against or for. You're going to get signs. So immediately mom takes me to boyfriend pants. I find XOXO boots.
Oh.
And I hear 1,000 Years, my favorite love song. and Locaeus and Loki, okay, and it's every single, and it was all, and I go, I get it, and then every 5 seconds was I'd hear Amelia like 10 times consecutive, or it went like, I got it, I get it, and I'm still getting signs.
Yeah.
So Angie said, watch the signs and hear them, but yep,
yes.
Getting them.
So whatever you're going through, you can ask the universe to give you signs, but then you have to look for them. So in case you haven't known about this, let's share some things that could be signs for you. So bumper stickers, license plates. When I see an Odyssey on the road, which is an Odysseus, that's always like Spirit's way of like telling me like things are cool. Other people's conversations, sometimes eavesdropping, you're going to get clues and hints. Yeah, Angie said numbers, repeating numbers, like however much your gas costs or what time you keep looking at, your TV, your radio, books, everything, your environment.
When I'm getting signs from me, usually I'll a Facebook video. Angie will post a video, a YouTube. Aaron Dowdy will say something. Songs. Trevor will walk in and say, well, I heard a song from Spirit I think you need, but this lyric in particular. And it's always exactly what I need. And number sequences. If Grandma's trying to say something to us, I will read, for whatever reason, she's got the Midas touch. Because we always would tease Grandma saying she had the Midas touch. I will get that. So I know Grandma's around when I hear the Midas touch. Or I see WD-40. I'd say, well, hi, Grandma, how are you? I see white feathers, I'll see feathers, so it's the same thing. Or if I see a blue jay, that's Wendy, a friend of ours. Yeah. We had, if I see a rooster, it's Cosmo.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or I see Peter, I hear about Peter.
Yes.
And it's like, oh, there's Cosmo again, and so yesterday, I was trying to get channel to Marquis. Well, Marquis new to, like, I'm working with Marquis, different. So I was like, okay, let's just get Cosmo. We'll do a quick Monday message with Cosmo. Well, the rest of the evening was Rooster this, Rooster that, and old Cosmo videos. So I was like, okay, yeah. I got it.
That's funny. Frickin' Cosmo. Destiny said, laugh my ass off, same. I've had a hard time with signs and the space between the signs and the manifestation. Divine timing me to death. It's still a lesson. I feel like the space between the thought and the manifestation, the space was pretty big, and I feel like it's a lot smaller now. Like to where it's a lot more obvious that we are the ones creating the stuff. I think like 20 years ago it was harder to see. There was like more time between the things that you could question it. But I think now it's so close. It's to the point you can't question it so much. Like, it's like, well, I'm doing this. I'm living a lie over here somehow. Angie said, I was with a patient and the son-in-law said he saw a buck in the field and he knew it was his brother-in-law and the sign that his sister was ready. Yeah. I love that people are getting it. Like, I've been seeing a hawk, right? So I've been having issues and I've asked for solutions. Well, a hawk is kind of telling you that wisdom of higher perspective is coming, which would mean the answers that I'm looking for are on their way to me. I just need to be aware of them. And our teacher said, if you see or hear something 3 times, that's the universe trying to, like, knock, knock, dum, dum. There's something in this for you. So the universe is speaking to us all the time. I feel like I probably miss thousands of signs a day because of the intelligence of the system I know I am living in. I know I'm missing a whole lot of it, but I appreciate the nuggets I pay attention to.
Yeah. Well, they were talking about the 3 times that that one was for me a weird, when we went to Enchanted Moments, which is where me and Angie got our mediumship. Now we had our cousin that we don't talk to anymore in that, but for the brief time, something told me to talk to her, Jamie, in that. And so we're talking to her, and she said that if you hear something 3 times, it means something. So she was kind of the wake up. She was the one that said she knew me and you, Angie, had something. Yeah. She was the first one to say that. So she's probably the first one to wake that up. But then she said the 3 times. So she said Enchanted Moments. That's where you need to go, Enchanted Moments. That's okay. So then I go to Enchanted Moments, and I saw Miss Sarah, who was our teacher, and I seen her, and she said something. She said that again 3 times. You're 3 times, and I'm like, really? So the second time, I'm in Enchanted Moments. I go outside, I'm doing something, I don't know, and I hear somebody say, let's go to Enchanted Moments. I go, all right, I got to talk to Sarah again. I go back and said, Sarah, I heard this place 3 times. She says, okay. She said, we're opening up mediumship courses. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
And then I'd gotten the idea from you. You started taking mediumship way before I did. But that's how me and Angie honed that 3 times of hearing Enchanted Moments. And Sarah, I heard Sarah all the time. Yeah. It's like she's going to be the teacher, and she was one of the really ones that got us going and everything. So yeah, that is so true. You hear it 3 times, it's saying dum dum, get in there.
And when Ellie had cancer, I was terrified. So I was terrified, and I was looking for answers. And Scott had the idea for us to go through a drive to Old Milford. Well, there was a festival going on in Old Milford, so we stopped and we checked out this festival, and Enchanted Moments is down there. And I walked by, and I was drawn to this lady standing outside. I think it was Ida May. So I asked Ida May, I told her I was really low. I was at a really low point, but I was trying to recover, but I had a lot of fear surrounding my daughter. Was there anything she could tell me? And she told me everything was going to be all right. I believed her. And after that, I was very interested in going there for mediumship. It just helped me. I needed that. I needed somebody somewhere that might know something to give me some sort of faith basis that I was lacking at the time. And side note, I've been experiencing a lot of life. I've been experiencing a lot of life lately. And I have noticed my frustration level with all of it is way different than it used to have been. Like, I would have lost my shit over a third of what I have going on right now. And right now, I can always go back to a place of peace within me that I know everything's going to be okay and it's all temporary. And that has helped me so much. And I want that for everybody. I want everybody to let go of all of their fears about all this stuff, and to know and to have faith that the universe loves you and wants better for you. It's just you have to want better for you. It's time for you to choose better and do better. No one's going to come and rescue you. I was waiting for someone to come and rescue me. It wasn't until I began to rescue myself that somebody else came to my aid to assist me through it. But I had to start the process.
Well, and so today that I was asking, like through like Joyce Meyer. So I've been having, like frustration, but so I was always asking the universe, I always ask Lazarus and Mark Key. So for whatever the reason, so I've been watching a lot of Joyce Meyer, reading Beauty for Ashes. That kept popping up. But this is the one that popped up and is so super helpful. And this came out today. I just got this out today. Is Joel Osteen's 15 Ways to Live Longer and Healthier. And he teaches what Lazarus teaches. It says he's talking about you need to work on the inside, work on your imperfections on the inside, talking about the illusion, but he's wording it different.
Wow.
It's a fantastic book. So I love that you got different teachers now starting to, because you say you go to your physical body, sometimes it's you're just stressing yourself, all these negative beliefs, the illusions, and he's teaching it, the 15 ways. That's awesome. And that just came out of the blue. That just popped out of the blue. And so you ask, Spirit will deliver that to you. And that is true what you said, Angie. Like half the things when life happens, like a lot happened yesterday. Yeah. And that could have been like whatever, but it's like observe, then react. And that's what I did lose my shit once, but because my kids are in their 20s and fight, they want me to referee. It's like, no. But it's just, it's like, come on, you're adults. So I figured out, well, I didn't, Lucaeus did. He's my helper. Lucaeus came up with it. But yeah, I mean, the things like when me and Angie were younger, it could have just like this. But now that we work with Spirit, they give us that guidance, and I'm learning how to trust more and more and more what it feels like. And when you ask, I don't feel, I love, then and you feel it. I mean, I can ask Marcus, and I will feel that immediate love. And he says already inside of you. It's already inside of you. You don't have to, but if you need that extra boost and that, and each of them have, each of Lazarus and now the shadow, which is Marquis, which we did discover the shadow is Marquis, but all of them is wise information and that. And so it's like leaning on spirit has helped us both so much. I mean,
yeah. Destiny said same about the kids. I mean, they're adults, but still harumph. Yeah. My kids are, they've been, wow. But I was a kid and I remember it sucked. And I remember thinking, hey, if you ever have kids, remember how bad it sucked. I know, but now it's like, shit, it sucks as a parent too. Destiny said, I got to run. We'll catch the end on the replay. Love y'all. Love you, Des.
Love you.
The flippy flop. And Angie Osborne earlier said, Des is here and said her same red bird was back today. Ooh, I love getting a same bird visit. That is awesome. My friend Jennifer makes friends with crows. So it's like crows visit her. That's awesome. I love that.
I get hawks.
Yeah. I've been getting a lot of hawks lately. A lot of hawks. I love it.
Dave's been getting squirrels.
Huh.
So he comes home from fair Saturday and he said he found a little bitty squirrel, like a little bitty squirrel out of the blue, out of that great big, the fairground. He finds this little bitty squirrel. So he found it, right? The next day, Laura comes in, the same squirrel, but hers was this big. She said, Dave, I feel that this is for you from spirit. And I go, what the hell? And then to add, Boot, I find an old photograph because my phone goes old memories that you might want to look at with music. And it has a dog on top saying the squirrel moment. I said, Dave, the squirrels are after you. And so he's been getting squirrel this and squirrel that and squirrel. It's been hilarious. So he's getting squirrels.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah. So he's getting squirrels and I'm getting hawks. I go outside and there's hawks.
Huh.
Everywhere. So
he said, I've been seeing rare squirrels, all black or all white. Oh, that's awesome. Wow. I saw an all black one once at Niagara Falls, and then I saw an all white one in Florida once. Actually, out by where the water hole is, Angie, we saw like bobtail squirrels. We saw one or two. We couldn't really tell. I don't know if it was one that jumped across the street later on or if there was two, but they were tiny squirrels, but it was missing the whole end of its tail. So it just had like a bobtail. So, but he was still a hell of a jumper and stuff. That I thought that was cool. I don't know if you've ever seen, is that a thing out there? They're bobtailed squirrels. Were we losing our minds? I think we were sober. Sure.
No, we're alive. We have a live right now.
Yeah, man.
Okay, can you wait a minute? Thank you. Can you bring, hey, Trevor, can you bring Krishna in here for a second? So we're going to bring Krishna out, our little, this is Monakia, our little, yeah. So you have Lokeus, we'll bring Krishna out.
Ralph said by the spring, one of those trees is literally a squirrel tree house. Wow. That is awesome. I love it out there, man. That is where the spring is. The energy is just so good. It's so peaceful. And we went there, everything like froze over. I don't know how many years ago this was. Time's a blur. It's an illusion anyway. So we're out there and there was ice melting and it just sounded like a symphony of crystals everywhere. As things are ting, 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 ting. And it's like, whoa. I had to take a video of it to remember the sound because it was just kind of otherworldly. It was an otherworldly sound, and it was beautiful to see the sun glimmer off of everything coated in ice and just hear it. Ding, ding, ding.
This is Lokeus, but that energy over there is like a portal of just clean energy.
It's so.
We've never been there, but come here, Krishna.
Oh,
you want to say hi? Whoa.
Bunker. Oh, I love him.
Say hi. Say hi, Krishna. Say hi. Hi. You give kisses. You want to give me? Can I give a kiss? Can you show everybody good kisses?
I won't let my snake look at your rat.
Aw. Hi. She is the sweetest. She is, and this is Michelle. She's our therapeutic.
Yes.
Through my divorce, everybody's been Krishna.
Yeah.
She's
our rat, you can throw her onto your hand, not throw her, like toss her into your hand and rub her belly, and she kicks at you and stuff. It's like a tiny cat. mixed with a monkey. He's kind of got an attitude. I don't know if Krishna's got an attitude. Does she do the ninja moves, or you just quickly kick your ass and you have no idea what they just did to you?
Yes. 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 Well, actually, the older she gets, she doesn't do that as much because she's getting older. But you give her food, you better watch your fingers. Certain things that she really likes to eat. Yeah. And Laura comes and picks her up all the time, and it is hilarious. And she'll just sit there waiting for Laura to come and get her. So yeah, but yeah, she jumps around, plays. Dylan put a rope for her to climb on, and she climbs the rope now because he saw some of the things that you guys have for Taki, so he put them for Krishna.
Yeah, you're supposed to keep them active and let them figure shit out. They're smart, man. As I'm always impressed by how smart they are. The bunny is smart, which has been blowing my mind. I've really enjoyed the bunny, but I think I gotta wrap this up. I gotta get I don't know what it is, something in the oven. I don't know. some chicken something in the oven.
No, okay. Well, this is Marcus. So I noticed we have Krishna, my namesake.
Yeah.
So they said she's a much more beautiful Krishna than I. So I was like, well, thanks. But Trevor, I'm going to hand her over to you so that Angie can bring Lokeas out for a few seconds and that. So we love you, Krishna. Hold on just a second. I don't do the food thing, but that way, okay. So we'd like to thank Lokeas, we'd like to thank Spirit, we'd like to thank Krishna, and we'd like to thank everybody that joined us. Thank you, Lokeas, for teaching us snake facts that we needed, and your mama teaching us that. So thank you very much for all of this, and we hope everybody that was going to watch this has watched this. You learned something about snakes and some beautiful snake facts. And if there's anything else, please comment below about, or if you have any questions or anything, Angela, she's got you. She'll answer your questions for you.
If you know of a snake that did steal a wallet, I would like to know about it.
Yes. Let them know about this, because Chris might have been right.
Might have. Flim Flammer, he might have been.
Might have been correct on that. So I will hand this over to my priestess over here. I'm not allowed to say priestess, but I'm still going to say it. All right. I'm still going to say it. So I'm going to hand it over to Angela and Lokeas.
Yeah. Well, we love y'all. We're glad that you joined us today. Hope you learned something. Hope that you face some fears, but in realistic ways. And to always have compassion, to try to have compassion and understanding over fear, because fear is an illusion and it's getting in the way of something really powerful for you. So we love y'all. We will see you Thursday for our Ask Lazarus. And if you have any snake questions or anything, let us know. If there's a snake fact I missed that you would like, hey, I wish that you would have said this, share it in the comments. We would love to hear about it. So we will see y'all on our next live. Love y'all. Be kind, be brave, be hopeful, be loved. You are loved. Thanks for watching. If you like this, check us out at Blue Heavens 3 on our social media platforms or at blueheavens.net.